Ever been caught in the whirlwind of his chaos? You're standing there, drowning in the silence, while his actions roar louder than thunder. He's cryptic, his every move a damn enigma, and suddenly you're left clawing through the fog, asking yourself the question that burns so fiercely it shakes your core. Are you just a fleeting face in the crowd, or are you the woman he can't stop breathing for? Let me tell you something raw and real. When a man values you, there are no games, no riddles, no hiding behind smoke and mirrors. He doesn't leave you in the dark, pacing the floors of your mind, wondering where the hell you stand. No, when a man values you, it's an earthquake of clarity. His actions? They scream, they roar. They break the silence in ways that words never could. And when he's all in? Oh, you'll know. You'll feel it in your bones. He doesn't just open the door to his life, he rips it off the damn hinges. He lays himself bare, handing you pieces of his soul, so raw, so unguarded, that you can barely breathe under the weight of it. It's not casual, it's not fleeting, it's seismic. This isn't about the shallow gestures that blend into the noise of everyday life. No, this is primal. This is life-altering. We're diving headfirst into the signs that tear through the surface and pierce your soul. These aren't breadcrumbs of affection, they're cannonballs of truth, hitting you square in the chest. Signs so monumental they don't just speak, they scream that you're not just someone he's into. You're someone who matters. Let's be real. This kind of connection rewrites the script of your life. It's not just about attraction or infatuation. This is the stuff of legends. His actions, they're like fire on gasoline, igniting something in you that can't be tamed. He doesn't just meet you halfway, he drags you into his world and dares you to leave. Today, we're not talking about some recycled list of weak signals. Hell no. We're lighting the fuse on 8 signs, so electrifying they'll leave your skin tingling, your mind racing, your heart pounding. These aren't clues. They're declarations. They're the kind of signs that make you stop dead in your tracks and realize you're not just in his life, you've become his life. This is raw. This is unfiltered. This is the real deal. If you're ready for the kind of truths that hit like lightning and leave no room for doubt, then brace yourself. This isn't just a dive into intimacy. It's a free fall into the kind of love that changes everything. Strap in. This is not a list. It's a reckoning. And by the time we're done, you'll know you're not just loved. You're unforgettable. Number 1, he integrates you into his inner circle. When a man lets you into his inner circle, when he introduces you to the people who matter most to him, his closest friends, his family, it's not just a casual introduction. It's not some meet and greet over coffee. No, it's a declaration. A massive, earth-shattering statement that says, "You're not just passing through my life, you're becoming my life." Do you get it now? He's not just throwing you into the mix. He's stamping you into his world. He's saying, you've crossed the line. You're not a visitor anymore. You're not some casual fling. You're here, and you're staying here. And here's where it hits. A man guards his world like a fortress. His friends, his family, those are the few sacred people he trusts to see the real him, the one beneath the surface. The broken pieces, the raw edges. Those people have earned their spot in his life. And when he opens that door to you, trust me, it's a bold, explosive act. This is no small thing. When you're introduced to his inner circle, you're not just meeting people. You're meeting his essence, the part of him that's been molded by every experience, every scar, every joy, and every heartache. And in that moment, you're not a mere acquaintance. You've just become part of his DNA. There's no going back after this. Do you realize that? You're not just another name in his phone anymore. You're standing on the precipice of something deep, wild, real. You've just unlocked the door to his past, his present, and the future he's crafting with you in it. And damn, you'd better believe that's something he's only giving to those who mean something. You're not a moment in his life. You're becoming part of his story, his legacy. And when you step into that world, his people looking at you like you belong there, everything shifts. The energy changes. You feel the weight of what's just happened. They're not just meeting you, they're seeing the woman who's walked into his heart. They're seeing the person he's chosen to trust, to hold on to. And in that instant, everything is louder. Every glance, every word. It's like 1,000 fireworks exploding in your chest. When a man truly sees you, when he lets you into his inner circle, it's not about just meeting people. It's about proclaiming you as the one. This is his emotional reckoning. This is his final word. He's not just saying, "Here's someone I'm with." He's screaming, "Here's the woman I trust. Here's the one I'm building everything with." And in that moment, when his people look at you, there's no mistaking it. You've earned it. You've conquered his world. And when you realize the gravity of this, you'll know. You didn't just slip into his life, you've exploded into it, making everything else pale in comparison. Number 2, he talks about his future and goals. He starts laying out his future, his vision, his ambitions, his goals. It's not casual chatter. This isn't just him thinking out loud about what's next or what he might do tomorrow. No, this is him offering you a front row seat to the most intimate parts of his soul. His world. And you're not a visitor anymore. He's pulling you into the center of it all. This isn't about him simply talking about what he wants to achieve. This is about him showing you how deeply you're embedded in his plans. You're not an afterthought, you're not just there for the ride. No, you are the foundation of everything he's building. Do you feel that? When he shares his vision, he's telling you, without hesitation, that he sees you standing right there beside him. You're not a side note. You're not just a part of the background. You're co-creating this journey with him. He's handing you a stake in his future. And when you accept that, there's no turning back. You've crossed into something deeper, something more powerful. You've become part of the plan. This isn't about empty words or passing conversation. It's power. It's raw vulnerability. He's giving you access to the most intimate corners of his mind. He's trusting you with the core of his desires because he wants you there. He wants you by his side, building this empire together. When he speaks of the future, it's not a dream. It's his blueprint, and you're at the heart of it. You are the driver. He's not just telling you about what's next. He's showing you that you are a key part of the journey. And here's the bombshell. You're not just someone he's sharing this with. You're the key player in the story he's writing. His plans are no longer separate from yours. You're woven into everything he envisions. His future is you. Feel that energy. That's power. That's real emotion. His vision isn't just talk, it's a declaration. And in that declaration, you are the one he's chosen. You're not just in his future. You are his future. Number 3. He opens up about his past and experiences. Unlocking his past isn't just a casual conversation. It's an explosion. He's detonating everything he's held inside, pulling down the walls and ripping open the gates to the most vulnerable parts of his soul. This isn't a gentle reveal. It's a nuclear bomb of raw emotion. He's handing you the pieces of him no one else has ever seen, the scars, the failures, the wounds that never fully healed. This is not just trust. It's a declaration, a battle cry that says, "You are the one I trust with my destruction. You are the one who can stand in the wreckage with me." This is not some casual tale about bad days or regrets. No, this is the darkest part of him, the ghosts he's been running from, the demons he's been fighting alone. These are the moments that haunted him, that almost shattered him, and now he's handing it over to you like a weapon, his vulnerability, his rawness, his battle-worn heart laid out in front of you. You're not just listening. You're feeling the weight of everything that almost destroyed him. And here's where the madness hits. He's not doing this to be weak. This is courage. This is power in its rawest form, the kind of power only those who've been through the fire can wield. He's not telling you to feel sorry for him. He's not asking for sympathy. No, he's saying, "I am redefining myself. I am breaking the chains that bound me, and I'm letting you see all of it, because you're the only one I trust not to run." This is him shattering his own armor and standing bare in front of you. Feel the gravity of what he's doing. This isn't a moment, it's an atomic bomb of emotion, a flash of truth so intense it shakes the very ground beneath you. You don't just hear his story, you feel it in your bones. You're standing in the eye of the storm, witnessing a man unraveling and rebuilding before your eyes. This is the ultimate act of trust. Not everyone gets to see this. Not everyone gets to stand in his wreckage and be trusted to hold his brokenness. But when he lets you in, when he opens up like this, you've just entered a realm that no one else has. You're not just a visitor. You're not just someone in his life. You've just become a part of his revolution. And when you realize that, when the truth hits you like a freight train, you'll know. You're not just a chapter in his story. You're the one who's been chosen to be in the epic. Number 4. He shares his deepest concerns and fears. When a man opens up about his deepest fears, it's not just an exchange of words. It's a battle. It's war inside his soul, and he's choosing you to stand on the front lines with him. He's not just talking, he's surrendering. And that's an explosive act of trust. Let me make this clear. Men don't share their deepest insecurities easily. They don't hand over their vulnerabilities like they're tossing out some gossip. No. When a man admits his fears, his failures, the things that keep him up at night, the things that threaten to destroy him, he's not just letting you in. He's breaking down every wall he's spent years, decades, building around his heart. This is the moment when the facade crumbles, and what's left isn't some image of strength. It's a man in all his fragility. Feel that? That's the earth shaking. That's the world shifting beneath your feet. Because when a man shares his deepest fears with you, it's not just about what's on the surface. It's about everything he's buried. The darkness he hides, the scars he hides, the blood he's shed in silence. And when he shows you that, it's like he's daring you to run. He's testing you to see if you can handle the weight of it. He's showing you the worst of him because he needs to know that you won't shrink back when the truth is too much to bear. This is madness. Because when a man opens up about the things that make him want to crawl into a hole and disappear, when he bares his soul and says, "Here, this is my weakness, this is my fear, this is where I fall apart, and I'm trusting you to be there when it all collapses." He's not looking for sympathy. He's not looking for pity. He's looking for your strength. Think about it. When he talks about his deepest insecurities, he's not just confessing to you. No, he's exposing his survival, He's showing you the places where he's been crushed, the moments when life hit him so hard he thought he couldn't stand. And yet, he stands, and he wants you to see it. When he tells you his deepest fear, his hidden regret, when he confesses the pieces of himself that no one else can touch, he's choosing you to carry that weight with him. He's not dumping it on you. He's saying, I've carried this beast alone for so long. Now, I'm asking you to stand by me and fight with me. Fight for me. Let that sink in. He's handing you the keys to his soul, and he's not just showing you the nice polished parts. Oh no, he's dragging you through the dark alleys of his mind, the places where he's been broken, the places he's tried to run from, tried to forget. But you're not running. You're holding him up. You're the anchor that keeps him grounded when everything is crashing around him. And when you feel that weight, when you realize that he's just handed you the parts of him that could destroy him if they were ever exposed, you're not just standing beside him. You're carrying the very essence of him, the thing that makes him human, the thing that makes him fragile. And here's the twist. This is where the magic happens. When a man lets you see his most dangerous fears, when he lets you into the rawness of his vulnerability, he's not asking you to fix him. He's asking you to stand with him when everything feels like it's falling apart. He's saying, I need you to look at this chaos, look at this brokenness, and not run, not flinch. I need you to believe in me even when I can't believe in myself. You think that's weakness? Think again. That's power. That's the kind of raw, unfiltered, soul-shaking power that shocks the universe. He's not just letting you in, he's making you a part of his fight. And when you're part of that fight, nothing can tear you apart. Nothing can break what you two are building. This is your moment. This is the test. When a man shows you his raw, naked, unguarded soul, he's saying, I trust you. I trust you to handle my chaos. I trust you to hold my fears. I trust you to be the force that keeps me from falling apart. You're in, and there's no going back. Number 5. He includes you in his everyday life. Ever been pulled into the center of someone's world? Not as a visitor, but as someone who becomes part of the very fabric of their life. That's what happens when he opens the floodgates, letting you into the gritty, raw, unfiltered parts of his existence. You're not just getting a glimpse of him anymore. He's showing you the trenches, the daily grind that shapes his soul. And believe me, that's an insane privilege. You're not some fleeting side note anymore. You've crossed a line, and you're woven into the chaos that makes up his day-to-day. You've become the pulse, not an afterthought, not an occasional distraction. You're woven into the core of his routine. Every message, every random check-in, every small, seemingly insignificant moment. It hits different. These aren't the grand gestures or the polished moments. No, these are the raw ones, the ones where he's not hiding behind any kind of mask, where the only thing left is him, unfiltered and real. This is when he's showing you that you're not just a weekend thrill. You're not a passing fancy. You're real. You're woven into the chaos of his world. It's in the small moments, the ones most people would overlook, the updates during lunch breaks, the random thoughts that he shares between meetings. Those are the ones that hit you in the gut because they show you who he really is when everything's stripped down to the essentials. And what's he telling you in those moments? You're part of his every breath. It's electric the way he checks in with you. Every message is like a lifeline. It's not just a word, it's a signal, a reminder that, in the madness of his life, you're the steady presence that anchors him, the one thing that doesn't leave him spinning. You're not just a distraction, you're his reality. And trust me, when he brings you into his grind, his hustle, his daily chaos, he's laying it all out, unpolished, vulnerable, and raw. He's saying, "This is me, the real me, the one that's battling, striving, surviving. I want you to see all of it, and I trust you to stand with me in it." You're not some fleeting moment he'll forget. You're the reason he keeps going. You're the thing that grounds him, the anchor that keeps him from drowning in the chaos. You're the constant in the storm. And that's the truth. When he lets you into his everyday life, it's not just a casual gesture. It's him telling you, you're not an afterthought. You're not a side piece. You're the foundation. You're the one who makes all the madness make sense. When you realize that, when you feel the weight of it, you'll know you're not just in his life. You've become the reason his world even holds together. Number 6, he invites you into his world. When a man opens the door to his personal space, he's not just letting you in. He's handing you the keys to everything he holds dear. Every inch of his life laid bare before you. His home, his office, his sacred ground. This isn't some casual come-over invitation. This is a battle cry. A declaration. I trust you enough to show you the unfiltered truth of who I am. You're no longer a stranger at the edge of his life. He's not giving you a tour of his world. He's laying down the red carpet to his deepest, most private corners. This is raw. This is real. His space is an extension of himself. Every picture, every book, every item carefully chosen to reflect who he is. It's not just a place to crash, it's a manifestation of his soul, his inner chaos, his struggles. And when he lets you step into this world, he's not just inviting you in, he's letting you see the man behind the mask. You're entering the zone where there's no more facade, no more pretenses. You're about to meet the raw truth, stripped bare. No editing, no filters, just the man. Do you understand the gravity of this moment? You're about to see him in the purest form he's ever shown anyone. Not in a suit, not on his best behavior, not putting on a show for anyone. This is the man with all the cracks exposed. The one who's not afraid to show you where he's broken and where he's healed. Take a good look. Every detail tells a story. Notice the way he's arranged his space, the books that shape his mind, the art that's woven into his existence, the photos that anchor him to his past. This is his world, his kingdom. And for him to invite you in, to show you these pieces, is a vulnerable act. You're being trusted with the core of his identity, the things he's fought for, bled for, the things that have shaped him into who he is today. This isn't just a place to hang out. It's a mirror of his life, a reflection of everything he's been through. But here's the catch. It's a test. When he opens his world to you, it's not a free pass. He's watching. He's observing how you treat his space. Are you careful? Do you respect what he's built? Or do you trample over it, demanding attention, looking for approval? How you handle his space is a reflection of how you'll handle him. The way you see his life will be the way you'll see him, with either understanding or with judgment. This is where the Stoic truth comes into play. A man who opens his world to you is standing naked in front of you, showing his heart, his flaws, his victories and defeats. And as you look around, don't just see the surface. Look deeper. Every object in his space has a lesson for you. Every story, every scar, every choice he's made to put something in a particular place. These are the battles he's won and lost. So respect this world. You're not here to change it. to mold it to your whims. You're here to appreciate it for what it is, to accept him for who he is in all his glory and his flaws. You're walking into a place that's built on years of sweat, grit, and silent battles, and you can either add to that legacy or destroy it with your ignorance. Choose wisely. This is the part where the Stoic essence kicks in. Life is fickle. And if you're going to be a part of this man's world, you must embrace the impermanence of it all. You're not here to cling, to control, or to change anything. You're here to stand still in his presence, to honor his journey, to accept the truth of his being, however broken or whole it might be. And don't forget, this is not a space for you to lose yourself. Don't drown in his world. You need your own world too. Keep your boundaries firm, your individuality intact. Because the moment you forget who you are in the process, you'll become just another object in his space. Something he's allowed in, but doesn't need to keep. So, when he opens that door to you, don't take it lightly. He's sharing his truth. Respect it. Honor it. But never lose yourself in it. The world he's offering you is one of raw authenticity, a world built on everything he's faced. And if you're worthy of it, it will be a world that shapes you just as much as it has shaped him. Number 7, he opens up about his struggles. You know that moment when everything comes crashing down and the walls around him start to crumble? The facade, the tough exterior, it all fades. Suddenly, you're not just looking at a man, you're looking at a warrior whose battle is far from over. What lies beneath isn't just strength, it's vulnerability, raw and unfiltered. His struggles, the failures he's buried deep inside, they come rushing out, and in that moment, he's inviting you into the eye of the storm. This isn't weakness, this isn't some desperate cry for help. This is the unshakable truth. Real strength is being able to show your scars, to wear them like a badge of honor. When he opens up like this, he's not broken. He's evolving. He's standing tall, unashamed of the battles that have shaped him. He's showing you the side of him that most will never get to see. He's saying, "This is me." No masks, no games, just me, fully exposed. And the most dangerous part? The next step, your response. Because when he's laying his soul bare, it's not a plea for rescue. He doesn't need saving. What he needs is for you to see him, really see him, to recognize the weight of his struggles and say, "I see it, I feel it, and I'm here." Not to fix it, just to stand beside you. This is where the magic happens. You don't need to say anything. In the silence of your presence, you become his anchor. The world may be breaking him apart, but you stay steady, unwavering. Your quiet strength speaks volumes. What he's doing isn't just about surviving, it's about transformation. Every hardship, every scar, every brutal battle has been an ingredient in the forging of a man who is rising. He's already more whole than ever before, because he's learning to carry his scars with pride, not shame. So, what do you do when he lets you in like this? Do you pull away from the weight of it all? Or do you lean in, letting his raw truth burn through you? When you enter the arena of his soul, you're not just witnessing a man's vulnerability. You're witnessing his power, the power to rise from the ashes again and again. This is where true intimacy is born. And trust me, this is the space where you're not just his partner. You're his catalyst. Number 8, he opening the floodgates of his struggles. He's standing there, bare, no armor, no walls, just a raw, naked truth that feels like a tidal wave crashing down on everything you thought you knew about him. He's done with hiding, done with playing the unshakable hero. What you're seeing now, this is his soul, exposed, and it's about to shake you to your core. You're not just hearing his struggles, you're stepping into a battlefield, the charred remnants of his past exploding in front of you. You think you know pain? You think you know darkness? Get ready, because this is a whole different level. This isn't a man asking for help. This is a man who has been to hell and back, and he's handing you the scars as a badge of honor. He's saying, I survived this, and I'm still standing. Can you handle it? This is not some slow, careful reveal. This is an eruption, a flood of everything he's kept buried, a storm of fear, regret, and the weight of 1,000 failures. It's not just vulnerability, it's a reckoning. It's raw power wrapped in the kind of honesty that would make most men crumble. But not him. Not today. When he opens up to you, it's not to be fixed. It's not for sympathy. It's a declaration of war. A declaration that he's no longer afraid to be real. He's offering you a front row seat to his internal apocalypse, the destruction of his perfect facade, the shredding of every damn illusion he's ever held on to. And in that chaos, there's a kind of terrifying beauty. It's the beauty of a man who has fallen apart and put himself back together, sharper, stronger, more dangerous than ever before. Now here's the bombshell. He's not broken, he's not weak, he's evolving. Every damn crack in his armor. It's a step closer to something far more powerful. This is not about being fixed. This is about evolution, about embracing every scar and using it to forge something unstoppable. When he shows you his darkest parts, he's showing you his blueprint for strength. Each wound is a weapon, each loss, a lesson. And you know what's even crazier? You're not just a witness, you're part of this. You're stepping into the fire, into the eye of the storm, and you're choosing to stand there, unflinching. When he lets you in like this, when he allows you to see the wreckage of his soul and still asks you to stay, you're not just a lover or a friend. You're his battlefield companion. You're the one he trusts to witness the madness and hold the pieces together. He's not asking you to save him. He's not begging for rescue. He's challenging you. Can you handle the intensity of this man? Can you see the fury in his eyes and the raw power in his vulnerability and still stand beside him? This question mark. This is where the real magic happens. The part where intimacy goes from a quiet connection to an all-consuming fire. Because when you stand with him in his struggle, you're not just witnessing a breakdown. You're witnessing the birth of something that will rock your world. This is where everything changes. This is where he becomes more than just a man. He becomes a force of nature. And the craziest part? So do you. When he pulls you into the rawest, most intimate parts of his world, his inner circle, his dreams, his flaws, even the unpolished corners of his soul, understand this. It's never random. It's not some afterthought or empty gesture. It's an explosion, a declaration of his unspoken truth. This is him telling you, in the loudest, most vulnerable way, you matter to me in a way no one else does. His actions are the ultimate truth, because for men, words are often too weak to carry the weight of what they feel. Now, here's the kicker. What are you going to do with this? Will you dismiss it as, oh, that's nice, or will you step into the fire with him? Relationships are not built on grand gestures alone. The real power, the real connection, is forged in the subtle moments, the silent acts, the ones so raw and unfiltered that they shake your core. These are the real masterpieces, and they're being created right before your eyes. These moments, these small, seemingly insignificant acts, are where real connection is born. Why? Because they're not polished, they're not scripted. They're messy, raw, and filled with the trust he's placing in you. He's not throwing you a bone. He's handing you the deepest parts of him. This is vulnerability at its most dangerous, and it's a risk he's choosing to take with you. He's not showing you a manufactured version of himself. He's showing you the uncut, imperfect man. The man with scars, with dreams, with fears that he's never let anyone else touch. This isn't just sharing. This is an act of revolution. It's him telling you, I trust you with the raw, unpolished version of me, the version that even I sometimes struggle to face. And now, the question that burns, how do you respond? This is your moment to either shrink back in fear or step into the chaos with him. Will you turn away, too scared of what this might mean? Or will you lean in, match his intensity, and say, I see you, I feel you, and I'm here for every damn piece of you, no matter how broken, how scarred, how real. Because this is where the magic is made. Building something real isn't about waiting for some perfect cinematic moment. It's about embracing the mess, the chaos, the truth of who you are together. It's in those raw, unfiltered moments where the real currency is trust, and the bond that holds you together is authenticity. When he lays himself bare like this, he's risking everything, not because he has to, but because he's chosen you to witness his realness. The truth? You're standing on the edge of something massive, a connection that will either elevate you both or rip you apart. This is not a small thing. It's life-shattering, soul-shaking, and anything less would be an insult. So, what's your next move? Will you just stand there, or will you dive in head first, engaging with every ounce of your being? Don't just spectate. Don't just exist in the background. Show him that you're worth the risk. Show him that you're not just the person who's there, but the person who's willing to take the leap into every unfiltered, unapologetic piece of him. This is your moment. Let it hit you. Let it change you. And if this resonates with you, if it rips through you like a shockwave, drop a number 1 in the comments and subscribe for more. We're here to shake up the game, break down the walls, and build relationships that are built to last. Not just survive, but thrive. Thanks for being part of this. May your connections be fiery, raw, and unshakably real. Stay hungry, stay bold, and never settle for anything less than the real, raw, powerful love that demands everything from you.